back to my telling you today's Wednesday, and we all guessed it, spooky animation. But let's start off by saying hello and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Daniel. I'll be your host, your guy in the chair.
Guy in the chair.
And today for spooky animation, we're going to be watching and enjoying One C's animation of the Father horror story. So enjoy.
When I was young, my father used to come home late at night. He then turned on classical music at full volume and cut something in the kitchen all night. On such days, when I woke up the next morning, I used to see him serving heaps of meat on the table, saying like, "I can't believe it has this much meat. We could eat throughout the week." And he looked so pleased. One day, he came home with a dagger stuck in his thigh. Struck with fear, I was about to call 911, but he shouted, "No, don't call 911, or my quarry will run away." Then he did first aid and put a bandage on the wound by himself. After that, my father fell into a coma and woke up 2 days later. When I asked him what happened to him, he said, "I was bitten by a wolf while hunting." I didn't understand what he meant then. Time passed, and I was about 12. One day, I woke up early in the morning and heard him humming in the kitchen, which was full of the smell of roasting meat. I walked closer to the kitchen and saw him cooking alone. Soon, he was going downstairs to the cellar. I also went after him to surprise on the sly. In fact, I hadn't been to the cellar because my father always kept it locked. I followed him to the cellar and watched him taking meat out of a large fridge. However, I saw the meat in the fridge. It was human meat. I shouted in panic, "What the heck are you doing here?" My father turned around and said, "Oh, my boy, this is the most perfect meat on the planet. Fish, animal, none of those things can dare to compare to the taste of this." I ran upstairs screaming. He shouted from behind, "You had it already! You know how tasty it is!" Thoroughly confused and disgusted, I threw up. I had no idea what to do. I was just a little boy. And I turned 18. One day, my father put me in the car, saying we're going camping in the mountains. After we arrived, he told me to lie in wait for a quarry. I said, crying, that I wanted to go home. But he gave me a hatchet and said sternly, "Now, feed yourself on your own." I could see it was not a joke through his determined face. We pitched a tent there and had hidden ourselves for a couple of days. My food from home was already gone, and I struggled hard to hunt small animals like a rabbit or something like that because I literally had nothing to eat. But my father didn't seem in the least interested in such things. After several more days, I finally found a climbing couple passing by in the area. When I was about to say hello, with the delight of seeing people after a long time, my father threw 2 sharp knives at them, and those exactly penetrated their necks. It took only about 3 seconds to kill the 2 on the spot. I screamed with terror while my father shouted with joy. Our voices echoed through the whole mountains like bizarre harmony. After that, he wiped off bloodstains around us using a special solution. Then he threw the dead bodies into the car and we came back home. My father gave me an old book, which looked decades old and worn out. "Read it and master all the techniques in this book. Then you can be a great hunter like me." As he said, the book described dozens of perfect techniques to instantly kill a person. There were a variety of cruel and brutal killing techniques that we could not learn even in any army or martial art. It made me speechless with shock. I tried to persuade him to stop, saying like this was totally wrong, but he said, "Just try once, and you will see how fun it is." I couldn't say a word. I thought to myself over and over again whether to call the police or not, but I couldn't put the only family I had in jail. And as usual, he had continued to hunt. Every day we had heaps of meat to eat on the table. And consequently, a number of their belongings had been also getting piled up in our house. But I couldn't eat the meat anymore. Since that day, I had just waited for the right time to leave. And one day, that incident happened that I could never forget for the rest of my life. When I came home from school, I saw him sitting at the table. I asked him what he's doing there, but he didn't answer nor move at all. I approached him and found his body had already gone ice cold. I was completely shocked. At that moment, I heard a man's voice behind me. Well, did he ever think about his last moments? The moment to be hunted by someone else? I looked back in fright and saw a man aiming at me with a bent bow. He was all dressed in a whole ghillie suit covered with green grass and leaves. I screamed in terror and started to run away desperately. But after a few seconds, his arrow thudded into the back of my ankle. I collapsed and started to crawl on the floor. Walking towards me with heavy steps, he said, "Your dad ate up my friend." He pressed the knife close to my stomach as if he was about to stab me. "And you had it too, right?" "Oh my God, please don't kill me!" I put my hands together, pretending to beg for my life, and attacked his throat in the blink of an eye. He uttered a piercing shriek. He became unable to breathe and rolled around on the floor, grasping his throat. Yeah, it was one of the techniques I learned from the book that my father gave me. After, I picked up the knife right away and put it close to his neck. I called the police, and soon, the police arrived and they arrested the man. After several days, my father's funeral was held and all of our relatives gathered. However, one of my uncles whispered in my ear, consoling me, "Did you learn how to hunt from your dad? If there's anything you don't know about hunting, just tell your uncles. Seriously, I am the best hunter on this planet." I stared at him in astonishment. He continued, nodding his head with a smile. "Yes, it's the most perfect meat on the planet." I stormed out of the place, screaming like mad. Since that day, I had cut all connections with my relatives and moved out to a place where no one knew me. But even in my new place, I used to have nightmares almost every night. In the dream, I used to be chased desperately by those who were killed by my father. They popped up with their body parts cut off and cried out, saying like, "You ate me up!" Then I woke up crying all in sweat. And it's been 7 years since then. I still can't believe all this happened to me. Maybe because of that huge mental shock, I might have been making myself believe all this was not real. Now all my memories have become faint, and even good memories with my father are almost gone. Even I'm actually not sure whether I really lived with my father or not when I was young. Nevertheless, there is one thing I still clearly remember. It is my father's happiest face while hunting.
Hey guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that short horror story of the father. It was pretty creepy stuff, but hey, if you liked it, don't forget, give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below, and then at the end, subscribe to the notification bell to be notified every time I post a new video, and share. Bye.